Alright, so today is Friday, January 16th, 17th? Let's call it the 17th. It's Friday the 17th of January. I'm in Portland, Oregon. Heading up to the West Hills right now. I've just left the downtown area. Riding a Kawasaki KLR 650. What? Are you laughing? You're laughing. Don't laugh. It makes a great commuter bike. It's not my only bike, so you can't call me a strictly KLR rider, but for what it is, it's fine. Whee. You didn't see that no left turn sign, right? 'Cause I sure didn't. So, I thought I'd talk a little bit about heated gear. You know, it's even though it's beautiful blue skies from what you're seeing today, it's 5 o'clock, let's see, 4:40, and I'm about 20 minutes from darkness. So it's cold this time of year up here in Portland. So heated gear sure is nice. Very, very nice. I'm running the Gerbing heated gear. Got a heated jacket. I'm going to go an anti-shortcut on the way home today. Whee! Look at all these gazillion-dollar homes this way. You're going to see some beautiful mansions. So I've got Gerbing jacket and Gerbing gloves on today, and that is about the only reason that I am commuting right now this time of year. Because without it, it's just too damn cold. You know, I'm sure I'll survive. But I'll be cold by the time I get to work, and that takes hours to warm up. And, you know, heated gear just makes it like riding with a little electric blanket wrapped around your shoulders. It sure is nice. So they got the Gerbing jacket and Gerbing T5 gloves. See the gloves? There's a wire coming out the edge of the gloves that hooks into the end of the jacket cuffs. Been pretty happy with the Gerbing stuff. It's not been without its problems. I've had to go back into Gerbing twice within the first year. Once to have a replacement set of gloves because they put the heating element too deep in the gloves. Their words, not mine. Gloves just didn't get that warm. Then I had a controller go out and or the jacket. I don't know. They gave me a different controller and rewired the jacket at that time. Since then, a couple months back, I had a glove go. My left glove went bad. There's little zippers inside the cuff of the glove that you can unzip and kind of pull the wires out. And it's pretty obvious there's a broken wire, so I just soldered it up. And a couple weeks ago, I had another problem. This time it was with the jacket. One of the plugs on the end of the sleeves that plug into the glove stopped working. That one was a little harder to troubleshoot. Here's a little tip for you, though. If you buy the Gerbing gloves, when you buy the gloves, they give you a Y cable. The Y cable allows you to hook up both gloves that come together, and then you can plug it into a power outlet on your bike. And they're full power, 100% all the time. There's no controller or anything. But that lets you use your gloves if you don't have a controller. But save that Y cable, because I was able to cannibalize that Y cable, cut one off. Hey, if you look down there, by the way, you can see Highway 26 heading out the Sunset Highway in Portland. When you're down on that highway and you look way up at the top, that's where I am. But anyways, I was able to use that cannibalized Y cable. Man, I'm going to have to follow this guy the whole way to just rewire or replace that cable in the cuffs of the jacket. You know, those cables get a lot of twisted and turning. I mean, you can see even, you know, with this hookup to this glove currently, it's all windy. Oh, yay. I'm going this way. And they just, you know, get a lot of use. I mean, I wear this jacket, half the year, every day, and half of the past 3 years. And you tell me any little thin copper wire that's getting twisted and folded and wound up all the time that's going to last through that. So even though the Gerbing stuff has had some problems a few times, it's not been terminal. And for what it gives you, which is a nice warm heat, and just makes riding just a pleasure in the winter, it's definitely worth it. If I was to do it again, next time I think I'll maybe go with the warm and safe stuff. They're the ones that make the first gear, heated gear now, but they're actually down here in Tualatin, Oregon, and since Gerbing moved from Washington up to back east someplace. I'd rather deal with a more local company if I have problems. But, the Gerbing stuff's fine. Whee! This is just a fun little road that I found to get, it actually is not a direct route by any means, but it's a fun route, and there's not really a lot of traffic on here. Some of these homes are very old and been here for a long time. I took kind of a walking tour, a book, Portland Hill Walks, that walks you around the West Hills and some of these little interesting little areas. Whee! Gotta show off for the kids, as much as you can on a KLR. I pop a wheelie, but it is a KLR, remember? Woo! That road almost looks like a driveway. If I had not had that book and done some of these walking tours in the West Hill, I would have never known that. I only did one walk and I found this great little route, and there's like 30 walks in that book. I need to do more of them. Hello, Blondie. I'm actually backtracking just a little bit because that was such a fun little ride. So in addition to the heated gear, I'm also running heated grips. So why do I run heated grips if I've got heated gear, you may ask? Well, for the shoulder seasons, especially, when I'm out and about and I don't have all my heated gear and it's an early ride or a late ride and I start to get a little chilled, it's nice to have the heated grips built onto the bike. They're always there. I don't need to carry around a controller and a jacket and gloves and all that. So that's nice. Plus, the gloves tend to heat more on the back side of your hand than the inside of your hand. So by having the both of them, you get your hand heated on both sides. So that's extra nice. The heated grips that I'm running on here, they started out as Oxford heated grips, which are nice grips. They've got a nice pattern to it. See the pattern? Probably not. But it's a nice, they call it the sport grip pattern. It's a bunch of little diamonds on there, and they're not too thick. These are heated grips themselves, not the bar wrap stuff, and so they're a little thicker because they got the element in the grip. But I like that kind better, the kind that just wrap around your bars. If you have aluminum bars, it's directly in contact with the aluminum, then you put your regular grip over the top of them. Well, aluminum is a great heat sink, and that just sucks all the heat, or a good portion of the heat that those grips would normally provide, right out of them. So I prefer to have the heated grips themselves. I've got 4 motorcycles, Yamaha WR 250R, this KLR 650, BMW R 50GS, a KTM 450XE. Every one of those bikes has heated grips, and they're all different types. And once you get used to them on one, it's nice to have them on all of them if you're a year-round rider in colder climates like I am. The one thing that sucks about the Oxford grips themselves is that the controller, it's a nice, electronic controller with big buttons, and it looks cool and such, but the thing is a piece of crap. It's well documented online. A lot of people have problems with them. Mine lasted just over a year. I figured it was other people and didn't know how to use it, but it just stopped getting. Actually, there was 4 levels, and it would only get warm on one level, and then the lights just started lighting. It was just doing all kinds of weird stuff. So, but the good news is, instead of throwing out the grips and getting a new set of grips, I could just replace the controller. The Warm and Safe, who also makes the heated gear I was talking about earlier, that's out in Tualatin, Oregon, makes a pulse wave modulator heat controller that will work on any of the heated grips. And so I've got the heat controller installed here in my dash. You're probably not going to be able to see it. Try zooming in here. It's a little dial and a little orange light blinking. Well, that's the Warm and Safe controller on there. You can get it in either a little box that you paste on, which is kind of what the original unit looked like, or you can have a nice dash mount like I have, and that works great. So I think that's the best combination, is the Oxford heated grips along with the Warm and Safe heat troller. There's a company out there, Lockit, L-O-C-K-I-T-T or something like that, that actually sells that as a combination. I don't don't know how they get that from Oxford. My guess is that they're selling off the controllers separately and then just kind of doing their own little bundle. But you can get them both together, and I think that's a pretty good choice. Another little small windy road through the West Hills. So I've just come up over the West Hills and over Council Crest there a few minutes ago. That was kind of the higher hills right around Portland. Other grips that I've tried on my WR250R, I've got the actual Hot Grips brand. And, they're cable connecting the grips. I don't know if you can see this on this one. That's a nice thick cable on the Oxfords. On the Hot Grips, it's a smaller, thinner cable that just doesn't look quite as robust, and the connection there is just a little bit more suspect in my eyes. I've also found that the grip on the Hot Grips is a wider diameter, and it's just made up of these big squares, like these 1 centimeter squares. For you English folks, that's like a ½ inch squares. I'm English too, but shit, I read so many freaking millimeters and centimeters and stuff and dealing with motorcycles that you get used to it. So the one nice thing about the Hot Grips is that they don't come with a infinitely adjustable controller. They work with the set that I had just had a off, high, and low switch. And it's funny, the low switch is the same as the high switch, except for it runs the current through this big ceramic resistor thing that you got to find a place to mount that chokes back the current a bit so it's not quite as hot. But it's a pretty robust system, though. I mean, there's no, electronic device. The older I get, the more I hate little electronic devices. I mean, when they fail, you can't fix them half the time, and they all seem to fail. Give me a good heavy cable wired, soldered into some other heavy cable with a switch that I can replace from an auto parts store, and I'm much happier. But I had pretty good luck with the Hot Grips. They've worked fine, and they definitely get warm. If I was to recommend one or the other, honestly, it's a toss-up. So if you got bigger hands, the Hot Grips might be fine. If you got smaller hands, the Oxfords might be fine. Did you see that car that almost pulled out in front of me back there? I mean, he was a long ways from pulling out in front of me, but does that make everybody else nervous when they speed up to a stop sign? I mean, Jesus, give me a little break, kind of ease into the stop maybe a little bit. But I don't know if you saw me get over, but I was I saw him. I'm always scanning ahead, looking for people to pull out in front of me and do stupid things. And although he didn't pull out in front of me, but it's just a little bit of an aggressive driving that just makes me think, does he have his eyes locked on me or not? Is he going to keep going or not? He got a little defensive, pulled out there a little bit more and slowed down. But, if he kept going, there could have been a problem. But I did cover the brake. I don't know if you saw it. But, every ride is full of little things like that. Constantly be searching, constantly be looking for problems. People don't see you a lot of the time. Wear some high vis. I'm mostly black here, but I got a Roadcrafter with some yellow shoulder blades on him, and the Roadcrafter's got a big high vis stripe on the back, and I got some other things that kind of light up the bike. We'll talk about those some other time, but daytime running lights also. So I try to do the best to be seen, but you gotta ride defensively out there. So I live over in Southwest Portland. I'm still technically in Portland, although I'm real close to Beaverton. The rest of this ride, honestly, it isn't really that exciting. So I could just keep the camera on and let you see what's going on in case something exciting does pop up. But most likely it's just going to be city streets as I head on home. So for the most part, that's the end of this video. Hope it's short enough and hope it's interesting enough. I'm going to try to do more videos where we have talk about something interesting or product review or something. I don't know if that's interesting to you or not, but put some comments on there, make some suggestions. I'll make some videos about it. A lot of my rides are going to be just in the Portland area. There'll be some street rides. I mean, this is winter time, so I'm not riding a whole lot. Mostly commuting to work and doing some dual sport riding on the weekends. I'll definitely get some videos of dual sport riding as well, and that's more what I'm into. But got a motorcycle, might as well commute. So y'all be safe out there, and we'll catch you on a later video. See ya!